Welcome to the Sufficiently Covered podcast, the room where grace is extended, love covers, faith is strengthened, and hope is established. I am your host, Trinisha LaShawn. I am a faith-based author and the CEO of Sufficiently Covered. I believe that every person deserves to know that they are loved, cherished, treasured, and valuable. So whatever your walk of life currently is, know that no matter your circumstances, God loves you and His grace is sufficient for you. You, my friend, are sufficiently covered. So come on in the room. Hey guys, and welcome back in to another episode of the Sufficiently Covered podcast. I'm your host, Trinisha LaShawn. Let's dig into it today. So we're going to be talking about being courageous in the face of adversity. Being strong and courageous, not just courageous, but being strong as well. Being strong sometimes gets a bad rap. And what I mean by that is, sometimes we get into this mode where I won't say all of us, but I know I've gotten into that mode where I don't want to be the strong person anymore. For what? What good does being strong all the time gets me? These are the thoughts that I've had before. Like I don't want to be strong. I'm tired of people telling me, "Oh, you're just so strong. You're just so strong. You deal with so much, yet you're just so strong and you take on a lot, but you are just so strong." Like you hear how repetitive that is? It's annoying. And those were my thoughts. Like, it's not annoying to me now. Now that I understand my position, but at one point, hearing that from different people was very annoying to me. I know that for them, it was an encouragement to me. They were seeing the things that I endured, the things that I experienced, and how I still managed to keep my head held high, to continue to go through it, to continue to go until I got on the other side, just continue to be. So their encouragement to me was, you're so strong. I've never met anyone as strong as you, or you're just so strong. And it got to a point where I hated, I really hated to hear that. I would take the compliment, I would smile, but inside I would be cringing because I would be like, well, excuse me, I would be like, well, I don't want to be strong. I want to cry. I want to break down. I want you to see that I need comfort, and I need comfort not in the form of you're telling me I'm so strong. I don't want that. And as I begin to grow in the Lord, as I begin to get more confident in myself, as I just began to really see me for who I was, I sat back and thought about it, and I was like, man, those were really compliments, and I was really taking them for granted. Now, mind you, look, y'all know that I'm always real on this show, and look, sometimes I do just want to have those weak moments. Just, it is what it is. I don't want to be strong all the time. I still feel that sometimes I don't want to be strong, but I know who I am and I can't turn that off. I am a strong person. The Lord designed me to be strong. He designed me to be able to have the strength that I have to endure the things that He already knew that I was going to have to endure. So with that being said, me not wanting to be that way is like me telling God, no, you made a mistake making me this strong. This not what's up. You made a mistake. And who am I to tell the Lord that He made a mistake? I'm sorry, Lord, let me repent right now, because that's what I'm not going to do today. But we're just talking through my experience, and I really got to a place where I'm like, okay, I was made to be strong. I was made to be courageous in the face of adversity. I was made to encourage others. I was made to even strengthen others through my own strength, through my own courageousness. And taking the time to really see that, I'm like, wow. Okay, Lord. I see what you did there. Okay. So I had to, now, mind you, some things that I experienced, I did bring on myself. We're going to be honest there. Um, but even in bringing those things upon myself, the Lord still made a way of escape, and he still turned the things around for my good. So I made mistakes, and yet the Lord still covered me and blessed me in the midst of my mistakes. And it was because I just stood strong in his word. I stood strong in my belief. I know that without him there is no me. Um so I want to encourage you today to be strong. I know, so you might be just like I was and not want to be the strong person. You might just, you know what? It's okay. It's really okay to have that time to release, because we are still human and we still have to get that off of us. So if you are experiencing something and it has a hold on you, take some time to let that stuff go. Cry it out. Go to a gun range and shoot. Go to the pond and fish. Go to the lake and fish. Go to the ocean and fish. Go do something. Go paint. Go get your nails done if that's your self-care. Go do something. Go hunting. Like me, I want to go deer hunting with my uncles in Alabama. I've never been deer hunting in my life, but that is something that I want to do. And I feel like that would be a form of self-care, because it's something that I want to do, and it's going to take my mind off of whatever I wanted to take my mind off of. It'll be an escape for me. So, I want to go in the woods and hunt a deer. but but whatever it is, take some time to take care of yourself and get that stuff off of you. Because at the end of the day, you are still going to have to be strong for somebody, if not just for yourself. You may not have anybody relying on you. You may not have children. You may not have a spouse, but you have yourself. And you have to be strong for yourself, because who else is going to take care of you? Who else is going to look out for you? Who else is going to encourage you when there's no one else around but you and your thoughts? Who is going to encourage you besides God? But if you're not tapping into the Lord, the source of all things, you need to be encouraging yourself. You need to be strengthening yourself. But here's the thing. The strength that we have, or the strength that you could have, the power that you could have, the courageousness that you could have, comes from God. I just, wanted to point that out. Y'all know I say this every time. This is a faith-based podcast. So, I'm going to talk about Jesus, and I'm going to talk about God, the Holy Spirit, all of that. But we're going to talk about everything, pretty much everything. Not everything, but pretty much everything on this show. But you have to be connected to God to really tap into that power, to really tap into that strength that you need, because there are some things that you are going to have to pull on the strength of God to get through. With me, I think one time that there were two times, but the one time that I really had to pull on the strength of the Lord was when my daddy passed. And if you do not know me, I'm going to let you know now, I am a daddy's girl through and through. Spoiled. And let me tell you something. I did not grow up with my daddy. I was able to know him as a young child, and then in my adolescence, and then through my teenage years, we didn't really have a relationship because he was in another state, and we were we were separated by states, and we lost contact. And then I found him again. I think I was 19, 20, 18, 19, one of those. And Picked up like time had not flown by, picked up like nothing had ever been lost. And I was spoiled. Now, mind you, I am very independent, very independent. But my daddy came in and my daddy showed me a love that I was missing. And my daddy spoiled me rotten. So with my daddy spoiling me like that, yeah. When I lost him, when I lost that because my daddy was literally my best friend. I mean, I had other best friends, but my daddy was my best friend. My daddy, I would tell him everything. There was nothing that my daddy did not know about me. And if I didn't tell him, he already knew because he knows me. But when I lost him, I really had to pull on the strength of the Lord to not fall into a deep depression. And I was going there. I was getting sick. I was crying every day. And I'm a woman of faith. Y'all know that. And I know what the word says. I know that we're not to mourn. I know that his body was gone, but his spirit yet lives because our spirits are everlasting. Um, So I understood all of that, but I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was thinking, I don't have my daddy to talk to every day. I don't have me. We were making plans. we were gonna he was gonna buy a house here where I live, and my children had already made plans to go move in with my daddy and leave me. And I was just fine with that because they were gonna be basically probably down the road. Um, but to be making plans like that and then to lose him, it really hurt. And that's the parent that I'm the closest with. We had this unbreakable bond. So when he passed away, I really had to pull on the strength of the Lord to keep me from going off the deep end because I'm like, dang, my daddy's gone. I can't talk to him every day. We can't joke around like we was. We can't talk about the Bible like we were. We can't, you know, get up in the morning, have our coffee and just have conversations together. Like I don't have any of that anymore. And when I was realizing that that was going to be my new normal, as my pastor so eloquently put it, I started to go into a depression because I'm like, man, my daddy was everything. And so in that time, I really had to lean on God like I have never done in my life because I needed that strength. And, at that time, you couldn't tell me that I was strong. I would tell you to get out my face because I am not being strong in this moment. I am crying. I was making myself sick. It was a lot. And I had to realize that I was falling into depression. And so once I realized that, that's when I really started to say, okay, I can't be here. I have children to take care of. I have a life to live. Life goes on because I'm still here. So, I have to pull on God for his supernatural strength. So yeah, that was a long-winded story, y'all. I'm sorry. But there are going to be times when you are going to have to pull on the strength of the Lord. I mean, there are going to be times that you're weak, but in the word it says, when you let the weak say that they are strong. So even though you're having a weak moment, you can still yet declare that you are strong. In the book of Joshua 1:9 is one of my favorite scriptures because it's really a commandment, and it's God questioning a command that he gave to Joshua. And I'm going to read the amplified version of it. And it says, hold on, let me get it. It says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified or dismayed or intimidated, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And he was reminding Joshua of what he had already stated previously, before he commanded him a couple of times before this particular verse to be strong and courageous. And this was after the death of Moses and when Joshua was taking up the mantle and taking up the position to lead the people into the Battle of Jericho. So As the Lord was preparing Joshua for this battle, he was just reminding him, hey, I already told you, be strong, be courageous. I got you. Don't be frightened. Don't be frightened. Don't be terrified. Don't be dismayed. Don't worry. I got you. I am here. I am not leaving you. And that translates into today. No matter what we're going through, no matter what we're facing, everything we face, we are to be strong and we are to be courageous. And we're not to be afraid. We're not to be dismayed. We're not to worry. And we're not to do any of that because God is with us wherever we go. There's not a place on this earth that we can go that God would not be with us. We're not praying to a God that is hovering above us in the heavens. We're praying to a God whose spirit lives on the inside of us. So if his spirit lives on the inside of us, that means he is with us everywhere. He's with us when we're sleeping. He's with us when we're cooking, when we're eating. He's with us when we're sinning. Let's think about that. But, oh, I'm so goofy. But needless to say, God is with us everywhere. So you don't have to be afraid of anything. He even tells us in his word that he's not giving us the spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. So even fear is not of God. So if he has not given us fear, but power, he's given us power to overcome fear. So when fear tries to cripple us, we know that we have the power to overcome that because fear is not of God, it's of the enemy. Let's just take a second to think about that. Fear does not come from God. And God has not given us the spirit of fear. I'm going to repeat that. He has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And he has commanded us to be strong and courageous and to not be dismayed and to not fear anything and to not worry about anything, but because he is with us wherever we go. So today we're learning about strength and courageousness. So in that, you have strength. I know there are times where you want to be weak. How we say, I like to say that what's the phrase that we like to say now as women? We ready for our soft girl phase. We title this independence. Yes. I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. But at the same time, I love my independence. Independence builds character, but there's a time and a place for all things. There's a time and a season for all things, and there's a time and a season for some things to end. I'm just saying. But we are, how will I put this? It's okay to be strong. It is. It's okay. It's also okay to have a moment of weakness because, again, we are human. It's going to happen that way. We're not going to be strong all the time, but we can consciously think about being strong all the time. When we have a moment of weakness, like me, I'm starting this journey of healthiness, weight loss, and all of this. Yes, I sound so excited, don't I? And I have my moment of weakness where I don't want to go to the gym. I'm not used to having to work out to obtain the results that I want. My teenage years and my pre-second child years, I didn't have to work out. My body was great. I had a great shape, all of that. And Now I kind of regret that I just didn't start a workout regimen then, because I would be active with it now and I wouldn't be giving it two thoughts. It would just be part of my routine. But now I'm like, I don't want to go. I really don't. And then when I'm weak in that area, my daughter is strong and she's like, Mama, we going to the gym. God, dog it. Okay, fine. All right, we gonna go. And then when I get there, my workout is great and I love it. I'm like, okay, so I did all of that just to come here and just love the time that I'm here. You're doing too much. But that's my example of me being weak and then some strength coming in from my child, out of the mouths of babes. But in essence, we can overcome anything. And I'm just talking to you guys today. This is a lot of randomness, but it proves a point. I'm acting like my pastor. But in all seriousness, God gives us a command to be strong and be courageous. Matter of fact, I think in this chapter, if I'm not mistaken, I think he said that 3 times before he said it again when he said, have I not commanded you to be strong? Like he was like, okay, I've already told you. Look, Joshua, have I not commanded you? Okay? Have I not commanded you? Be strong and be courageous. Do not be terrified or dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So here, look. I'm not going to keep repeating it because I think you'll get the point. You get the point? I believe you get the point. Be strong. You can have your moment of weakness, but don't dwell in it. Don't wallow in it. Don't stay there. Don't create a pity party for yourself because you want people to come and comfort you. You want people to come and hug you and say it's going to be okay. No, don't stay there. It's okay for people to come and do that, but don't stay there because that's what you want. Get out of that place and be strong. Lift yourself up and get back to doing what you have been commanded to do. 2 things, strong and courageous. And then whatever plan and purpose God has for your life, get to it. Be strong and courageous while you're doing it. I mean, if he's already giving it to you, be strong and courageous while you're doing it. If he's already given it to you, he already knows that you're going to do it. You're going to be successful. He's already given you the plans. He's already given you the instruction. If he hasn't, you haven't either sought him for the instructions or you haven't waited to listen to hear the instructions, because I'm 99.99% sure the instructions have been given. Because God is always speaking. It's our job to tune into his voice. So I'm going to quit preaching to y'all today. But I will tell you again that you can be strong and that you can be courageous because God is with you wherever you go. You can be strong and you can be courageous, and you cannot worry and not fear and not be dismayed and not have any stress on you because God is with you wherever you go. So with that being said, be strong and be courageous and go forth in the Lord with power, strength, and authority that has already been given to you. You've got this. You've got this. If you don't know by now, you should know, but you know that I believe in you. I believe that you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. I believe that you can do everything that you set your mind to do. I believe that there is nothing that is impossible for you because you serve a God of the impossible. You serve a possible God. What may be impossible to man is possible to our God. So you can do it all. I mean, you were created in the image of the Creator. So if you were created in the image of Creator and you were given the power of the Creator, then you can do what the Creator does, and that's create. I created this podcast. I created the books that I'm writing through his inspiration. You created whatever it is that you're creating. You're creating a wealthy and prosperous life. You're creating prosperity for your family. You're creating wealth for your family. You're breaking generational curses. You're creating generational wealth. And not just in finances, but overall in every area of your lives. So, because you are children of the creator of all, you have the power to create. Remember that. And don't ever forget the power that you have within you. Don't ever forget whose you are. Don't ever forget who put you on this earth. Don't ever forget who gave you purpose. And if you don't know your purpose, seek God for it, because you do have purpose. And yes, you are strong, and you are yet courageous. So go out and be strong. Go out and be courageous. Go out and get the victory in every area of your life. That's today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. Remember, God's grace is sufficient for you. You are covered under the shadow of the Almighty. You are loved. You are treasured. You are valuable. This has been Sufficiently Covered with Tanisha LaShawn. May God continue to protect you. May God continue to keep you. And may God continue to bless you abundantly. Hey guys, thanks again for tuning in to the Sufficiently Covered podcast. If you are enjoying what you are hearing, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a comment. Also, subscribe and share the show. We want to expand this community. God bless you all.
Sufficiently Covered podcast is brought to you by the Grace Restored Transformed Planner, where daily planning meets spiritual transformation with guided weekly activities, daily and monthly planning, and a self-love reflection letter. This planner is sure to have you sufficiently covered. You can purchase your copy and shop around at sufficientlycovered.com. Remember, not only is God's grace sufficient for you, but you are covered in His blood. Happy shopping!